to be your vessel. Give me the means to save someone today.
Hi Jonas! Really big day today, no?
Kind of. I tend to be a little tense in these missions.
Really? Do you know that you can use social media to be a missionary? Do you know Adventist teams?
Adventist teams? What is that?
Well, wait a second. I'm gonna send you an invite to be in my team.
Okay. What should I do now?
Well, you download the app, register, and you're ready to start using it. It's really simple. Adventist Teams is a digital missionary community where you can find the best content to share with your friends.
Oh, nice. Look, my friend needs some hope. Where can I find something about that in the app?
Right here on tags.
Defining Your Health. I am your host, Chantel Neal, and with me is Mr. Noel Young from Babta Belize, and we have a very interesting conversation for you today. Whichever platform you're watching us from, be it Facebook, YouTube, or Channel 98, we thank you so much for joining us again. Today, our discussion is under the theme, disability does not mean inability. And like I said before, it's very interesting and it's one that you don't want to miss out on. Mr. Young, we are happy that you are here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for having me. Like you said, my name is Noel Young. I'm a current major student doing my in masters. Job. I go to school. I like to have fun. And I was born with a disability. That's the coolest part about this, especially for me. I don't know, like.
For those of our viewers, Mr. Young has a very interesting story, and one of these days we're going to hear it. I have already invited him back for a part 2 to this discussion today. So you've heard how Mr. Young is here to share a little bit about his disability, and mostly you'll see that VA, PDA written across his chest. He'll be telling us a little bit about BAPDA and what they do. So let's get into it. Tell us, what is BAPDA?
So BAPDA is Belize Assembly for Persons with Diverse Ability. It was started in 1981 at that time by the Honorable Philip Wilson. But it wasn't BAPDA then. It was just persons with disability. It later changed the name in 2009.
Okay.
So what the organization does is it lobbies for persons with disability, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The reason why we included in 2009 the diverse abilities because there's a lot of people suffering with illnesses that you can't see. Physically, you can't see. And even for somebody as simple as myself, walking, some people would say I walk a little different, but you don't know what my disability is because it's not shown. And so, like I was mentioning, what we do is lobby for people who don't have a voice. So we are the voice for them. We are, at this present moment, 1,800 members strong.
Wow.
And we are in the process of getting much, much bigger.
Awesome. Well, before we move on, I want to commend you, Mr. Young, as well as the team, because I know there's a team that's working. You all work together to push forward this organization. So I must commend you all for the wonderful work that you've been doing. I know before we start, I've mentioned that I feel like in the past 2 years, I've been seeing a lot of things that you've been doing.
Correct.
You know, and growing. You know, you mentioned 18,000, is it? 1,800 strong. And I know there's room for more.
Of course.
Disabilities is very near and dear to my heart. I have a dad who has one hand and an uncle who has one leg, a brother with Down syndrome, and I had a grandpa with one eye. So disabilities is, you know, it's in my family, and I'm sure to your viewers, you can think of somebody who has a disability, or you yourself might have a disability. Now, when we think about disabilities, Mr. Young, a lot of times people with disabilities are, they feel like they are not cared for. They feel like they're not a part, they're not included. Was it something that you felt? And as you share, I want for you to tell our viewers a little bit about the disability you have. And I also want our viewers to know that everybody have some type of disability.
Yep.
Might not be physical, but mentally. So I mean, we are all in the same bag, so to speak. Go ahead and share your story.
All right. So I was born with my right leg missing from my knee down. I got it amputated just a little to fit my prosthetic leg at the age of 8. Growing up, it was tough. I won't lie. It was really, 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 really tough for me. I started off at a private school, and my mom said, if I keep protecting him, he won't get the grasp of life. So I was later moved to a public school. And there, I was exposed to a lot of changes in terms of the way people treat you, the way how people would talk to you, the way how people would view you. And at first it was hard. As years went by, people just adjusted. My mom was very instrumental in that because she saw the vision before I even saw it, in terms of the ability that I had in doing things physically or doing things using my mind mentally. And for that, I would say I'm very, very gracious that God chose me and put me in this situation.
Amen. Amen. That's amazing. And I know he is kind of hinting to an amazing work that he's doing. We want you to know that so Young he's working on a master's in becoming the first. Help me there.
Prosthesis and orthosis, I believe.
Yes.
So that's a person who does artificial hands and artificial legs. So I would become the first Belizean in-house to have my master's degree in that.
Awesome. So, man, purpose. Don't tell God about purpose, because everybody has a purpose. Regardless if you're born with a disability or not, you have a purpose. So let's continue with the story, Mr. Young.
So as I got a little older, and I reached, I think it was standard 3, if I remember correct. I was unfortunate to have the gate at my school fell on me and broke my other leg in 9 places.
Oh, mercy.
So that hindered me for a while. The good thing about that, I was only bedridden for 2 months.
Okay.
And then I started to walk again.
But for a child that like 2 years.
Yeah, it was for me, especially being as active as I am, it was very, very hard, especially on my mom, because she's a single mother. It was really, really hard on her in terms of bills, and she didn't know where to go about in order suing the school or just accepting the little help that she was getting, or what would be the next step. But she never gave up. She kept fit. And always prayed, and that's one of the things I can say is one like her biggest characteristics is she's a Christian, a believer in God, and He has always give her the strength and the courage in order to find a way out for not just herself but for her children.
Amazing.
After that, I was fortunate to go to the States for the first time to get my prosthetic leg, which was success. With some little hinders at first, I didn't know what to expect from it.
Yeah.
I had to learn to walk because I didn't have my leg in the first place.
So you were on crutches when you were much
yes,
younger?
when I was younger, that was my thing.
Crutches,
so
okay.
I got a prosthetic leg when I was 3, but it was something that was donated from someone.
Oh, okay.
So it didn't really fit as well.
Mold,
It didn't.
yeah.
There was a lot of things to it, but I still used it for a little while, and then it broke. I think like 6 months after I got it, and then when I went back to get it at a little earlier later age, I was like 9.
Yeah.
I had a better understanding of what I was getting myself into, and then my mom was fully there to understand and for the doctors to talk to her so that she can grasp the idea of what would be the changes. And that was a good experience. After the surgery, I had a little setbacks in terms of I was already used to using my good leg and using my not so good leg, if you may say, to walk. So I would walk like on my knees.
Oh, okay.
And because I just got the surgery, doing that was difficult. So what would happen, I would tear the stitches inside my leg.
Wow.
So we had to keep going to the emergency room. But that was a learning process. I mean, at the age of 9,
Yeah.
that's the only thing you can do at that point is
Yeah.
learn. I came back, I adjusted to the new me, I would say. A lot of people was sympathetic on my behalf, I would say as well, because I got a lot of support, a lot of help. Whether it would be through prayers or people just seeing me and being verbal about it.
Yeah.
From there, I would say it wasn't smooth sailing still in terms of school and stuff, but it was something that I enjoyed the process, and I always say if I can do it again, I will do it again. The same exact way without missing any step.
I'm inspired by your mom, though. I'm inspired that your mom didn't keep you back, because I know that a lot of, when you're a child, parents tend to want to shelter and want to protect, or maybe even want to keep it hidden because they may feel ashamed that, when you're having a child, you're always expecting this perfect baby, with all its limbs, with all its, everything. And parents, some parents are kind of disappointed when that's not the case.
True.
So it's a blessing when you have a parent, you have a mom, a dad who, willingly accepts the will of God.
True.
And could understand, that even though the child is not what I had thought, I love him still. I want him still. God has a plan for him. And I can see that in your mom. She had that understanding, and praise God for that.
Yep.
And I think that played a big role in your success. In the confidence that you have now. Having your mom there as a support. So, what word of advice would you give to a parent that maybe watching this program today and have a child with a disability, may have been hiding the child, or they don't feel that confidence? So what advice would you give to that parent?
My biggest thing about having a disability, whether it be physically or mentally, is learning to accept.
Accept. Yeah.
The reason I say that is because the moment you accept what is there is the moment that you're able to move on from it, because deep down you have already believed that, you know, this is exactly what is there and nothing can hold me back, because I know and I know that this is what I have.
Yes.
So for me, I always say acceptance is one of the main focus point on being able to go out and move forward with whatever disability is.
Yes, and then she pushed you, you know, instead of keeping you in a private school. You mentioned that
she transitioned me to a public school.
You know, public schools could be rough.
It was.
You know, speaking about rough, I'd like for you to share a little bit of the challenges you had. Did you face bullies? Did you face? I know you know.
At first, I got a lot of bullying at a younger age, and then I remember, I think it was like after I got my leg broke in standard 3. I think it was like standard 4 when I came back. I used to complain a lot, but then I had a little brother who was somewhat of a, I wouldn't say a mean person, but he would defend me at any cost.
Okay.
And that was one of the reasons why, like, I wasn't bullied a lot, because my brother was much bigger than me, he was in a younger class and bigger than everybody out of the class. So that kind of helped me. But like when we separated from going at the same primary school and went to different high school, for me, I would say my change started in standard 6. I chose to be, I was always outspoken, but I chose to more stand up for me in terms of the disability that I had. And like I remember before going into high school, like one of my teachers sat me down and he said, "You're a bully, you know?" I said, "Oh." He said, I said, "Oh, how? I'm just like being me." And I think that was one of the things that helped me as well. Like I don't want to say become a bully, but I would say like stand up for yourself.
Defend yourself.
Stand up for yourself is 100% something that can help and will help.
Nice. Mr. Young, we've heard a little bit about your story. We've heard your history, where you came from. What are you doing now? Was it a challenge for you when it comes to workplace? Because I know for people with disabilities, that's a challenge. You're not readily accepted in the workplace. And for you, you wear a prosthetic, so I believe it's a little easier. It's much easier than if you were, if you were maybe blind
or bound to a wheelchair,
or wheelchair bound, things like that. So your disability is a little more accepted because you're still mobile. You're still good. What was that like?
At first, getting a job was a little kind of hard in terms of choosing what I wanted to do, I would say. I remember, like I said, I took a different course than my mom had planned, but then I still came back and did what she wanted. From when I left Fort Farm and I went I was transitioned into the work field between my first year of doing my first 6th form degree and school. I was fortunate enough to work for government based on the my high school qualifications and then what I was majoring in, which was agriculture. So it wasn't that much of a problem. But after that time period was up, it was like hard to get back a job, because that was only for a short period of time. And then I've never heard someone say it's because you have a disability that you don't want to hire you. I've and I think that's something that I don't know if others have heard it.
I'm sure those words, it might not have been said, but
have been thought.
Which
sometimes
is,
you can see it,
you know,
which is
not right. You know, we live in a free country. We live in a country that talks a lot about inclusivity. But the question is, are we really inclusive? You know, do we really consider these things when we look at our buildings, when we look at our churches, when we look at people that are contractors? Are they building with people with disabilities in mind? You know, are there ramps? Are there rails? You know, is there a special seat on the bus for people with disabilities? I know in the States,
They are. Yeah, they are. They
special.
are.
Now
They are.
I'm seeing parking spaces here in Belize. You know, so we're getting there
Slowly,
slowly but surely.
And this is where BABTA comes in for a lot, because we're the one fighting with these other large organizations, the government, contractors who are doing the buildings and stuff, in order to get assistance for people with disability in some form, way, or shape. And the process has been slow, but it's going. And that's the thing that keeps me motivated as well, because it's not stagnant at one spot.
Yeah.
It's still moving, even if it's trickling one by one, it's still taking effect in some form or shape. And they're including a lot of people with disability now, even in the work field. I've met a couple people at some call centers. I've met a couple people who work for government. I've met a couple people who does
I've
like
seen a few at the
restaurants.
Yeah.
The hospitality, I was going to say hospitality industry. They are coming along, because I always say having a disability doesn't mean you don't have a mind. Most jobs just require you to use your mind in order to do what's needed for you to do.
And that's a powerful statement right there. God made all of us with some kind of with an ability, you know. So, like the topic for today's discussion says, disability does not mean inability. It does not mean that, oh, I'm disabled, I can't do nothing, I'm good for nothing, or I'm just a cast away. And a lot of times, people with disabilities feel this way, you know, because they're not included. They don't feel like they're a part, you know, and we don't make spaces for them. You know, one of the things we're trying to do in our organization, we have the Possibility Ministry, you know, which is a ministry geared to those with disabilities in the church.
Okay.
You know, a lot of the services we have, we don't offer sign language, you know, and that's a way of excluding.
So, yeah, correct.
You know, that's exclusion.
Correct.
You know, even this program, we are only catering to those who can see. What about those who can't? So they're excluded from the programs. So there's a lot of things the church can do. There's a lot of things or other media houses can do to include everybody. You know,
not to go too short with media houses is exclusive of a lot of those indeed.
Of course.
Like traveling a lot of those media houses doing this this promotion for BABTA is tough. If, let's say, for example, if it was our president who is wheelbound, it would be difficult to get him at, not to call their names, but at some of the media houses.
Yeah.
I think about that and I'm like, yo.
And that's one of the, we said that we come a long way, but that's one of the things, that's one of the places we need to eventually get to, you know, where we are so accessible, we're so inclusive that we're thinking about all these things when we're building. It should be a rule now that when you build, you have to have some part in your plan for people with disabilities. You know, I think it's on stream now, buildings that are being built. But back in the day, you get up there how you can, you know, they put 2-man carry up on your arm and all the things. So I'm looking forward for the day when we can get to that, you know, that level of inclusivity in our country, you know. And so I am happy for this push that you guys are doing, you know, to get us there, you know, programs like these where you're willing to come. You know, I reached out, and without a thought, Mr. Kenrick, who is he's the president, right?
He's the president.
Mr. Kenrick Theos readily accepted for you all to come on, you know, on this program today, and we are happy that you guys can come to share, because we're not in a bubble, we're not in a circle, we're in the real world. You know, we have people in our churches with disabilities. How can we cater to them? You know, and we're going to hear more of that when we come back. How can we cater to them? How can we make them feel included? You know, so at this point in time, we're hoping that you're enjoying the discussion, and we're going to take a quick break now, and we will be right back with more on BAPTA.
Pathfinders, we are getting ready to be in Jamaica. What is happening there? To celebrate the 5th Inter-American Division, Camp Paris. You cannot afford to miss it. Please come along. Yes, we're going to have honors. We're going to have a pin trading. We're going to have friendship, social meeting together throughout all the entire territory of Inter-American Division. When? Next year, 2023, you cannot afford to miss it, Pathfinders. Be a part. Come, let's go to Jamaica. Yay.
You might be asking, who are Seventh-day Adventists? Commonly known as Adventists, we are a Christian movement established in 1863. We have 28 fundamental beliefs and more than 20 million members. We also observe the seventh-day Sabbath. Worldwide, we have more than 162,000 congregations. We serve countless communities with our education institutions, with 2 million students. And 198 hospitals around the world. And it's all because we love Jesus.
Sabbath School members, do you know of someone who is an orphan? November 19th, 2022 is Orphans Day in all the Seventh-day Adventist churches around the world. The orphans in your congregation awaits your love and special ministry to them. Sabbath School Council, begin planning for Orphans Day. It's a ministry of compassion. Orphans will remember your ministry of compassion. November the 19th, 2022, Inter-American Division celebrates with the rest of the world Orphans Day.
Hi, I'm Pastor Eladio Davis.
I'm Pastor Denny McCullough.
We are the hosts of your Bible study series, Words of Wisdom. In 2 Timothy 3:16, God reminds us that all scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof,
for correction, and for instruction in righteousness.
Words of Wisdom is a specially designed program brought to you by ATN in an effort to share the Advent message to our friends and faithful viewers who are yearning to build a growing and saving relationship with Jesus Christ. If you want to learn more about our rich Adventist heritage, basic fundamental belief, counsel on courtship and marriage,
or simply a deeper study of God's written word, then join us Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. on our Facebook and YouTube pages, as well as Channel 98 on Central TV. Join in and be a part of this special Bible studies effort by praying that God continues to lead and bless this ministry, by becoming a faithful viewer and inviting your friends and family to like and share our programs, by your kind donations and of course your generous financial contributions. Contact us at 416139351 or send us an email at atn@cbm.belizeunion.org. We are located at 10 3/4 miles Philip Golson Highway. Thank you for being a part of the ATN ministry. It is our prayer that you will keep the book of the law always on your lips.
Meditate on it day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to that which is written therein. Then thou shalt make thy way prosperous and have good success.
Do you really understand our youth and the challenges they face?
Are we truly listening to what they're saying or even care about how they feel?
Youth Come Alive is a new and innovative program where we discuss issues that matter, such as spirituality, sexuality, relationships, addictions, careers, and so much more.
Join us on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. on all our streaming platforms.
Youth Come Alive, a program for youth.
Are back. We want to thank you so much for staying with us, and we are here in a wonderful discussion. We are speaking with Noel Young from Bapta Belize, and you may be wondering, what does Bapta mean? I know he has it, the sign in the front of his on his t-shirt, and it's basically the Assembly for Persons with Diverse Abilities. So our discussion is under the theme disability does not mean inability, and we've heard the awesome story, Mr. Young's life story, you know, and how he has come from, you know, being a child born with one leg to now, you know, working, functioning, you know, and he is doing an amazing work, and he's working on a master's and all of that. And so I just want to say I'm proud of you, man. You're doing the most. You're doing what you've been placed on earth for, you know. And to our viewers, if you've been enjoying this discussion, I want you to put a comment in the comment section to kind of give us some encouragement. You know, it's a hard discussion because it's not one we have all the solutions for. We wish we would have, but with the help of Bapta, there's a lot that we can do. There's a lot they have done to help us along the way. Before we left off, we were talking a little bit about church.
Mm-hmm.
How can we help our church, our workplace, our other organizations to come on board, to you know, make your space, whatever space you have, be more inclusive?
I think it's first having the discussion, being willing to sit at the table and have the discussion.
Okay.
is a big start. Once we go from there, it's just to put in the proper articles in place, to put in the proper facilities in place to let it be a state that disability is something serious, mm-hmm. and they are a part of the community one way or another. I believe that's one of the major starts that we need to have, is just to get them at the table to have that sit down.
Yes.
I must say, big up to Florelia, because they have made the commitment to reserve the first 2 seats on their bus for people with disability, elderly persons, pregnant
Nice.
women. So they have committed to that. that's one of the major drives that we're pushing right now.
Yeah.
We also have on the table working on some
Sure.
so working on some assistance from government in terms of rectifying the way how the disability license plates are issued. We have a couple meetings as well with the billing authority for city council.
Okay.
And for which is local government, and for rural areas as well, to get some of the buildings, newly created buildings on board, public buildings, of course, with ramps in order to suffice a person that has a disability.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. And I just want to go back a little bit for those of our international viewers. Floralia is one of the leading bus companies here in Belize, and I think that's one of the first time we've ever had any bus company doing anything like that.
Yes,
you know,
committing
a space on a bus. I know we have parking spaces. That wasn't before. We just started up special parking spaces for people with disabilities. Now we're having spaces on the bus for people with disabilities. Because many times you'd see people with disabilities catching bus and they have to stand up. I mean, man, how cool have we grown? You know, so making that commitment to have their bus with special seating, I think it's amazing.
It is
amazing.
It is, and it's just a start because the newer buses that are coming on board, we're hoping that once we have this sit down, we're able to get them included as well, to have lifters on at least one of the bus from the various companies that will be getting the new bus.
Yes.
So to facilitate someone in a wheelchair. So that is something that we're always also looking forward to.
Yes.
We have we also have ID cards. We're working hopefully to get ID cards for people with disability, to get little discounts at different merchants.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Throughout the city at first. We're also in the process of rekindling our organization. And when I say rekindle, I mean right now we just have one location, which is in Belize.
Okay.
So we're hoping to go countrywide, to have a sub branch in every district.
Nice.
Which would be Belmopan,
Kyle. So you're catering to everybody.
To everybody.
Everybody get access.
To everybody. We're also in the process of starting up Miss Skeen, Kathleen Skeen soup kitchen, to assist people, the needy, who are unable to eat during the course of the day in the Belize city. By the way, Miss Kathleen Skeen is one of the oldest members of Babda. She has been around from Mr. Philip Golson days when he started, and she's still a part of the organization now.
That's amazing. And Philip Golson, he was a minister.
He was
right?
a minister.
He was a minister, and I think he was one of the
impaired as well.
I think he was one of the first to kind of like
lobby.
Yeah,
he was a lobbyist. He was from the start. Yep, from the start he was a lobbyist, and he championed. This is something that I can say that he's very proud of, because the organization didn't just drop dead and die. It came and with the new group that we have that came in June, with Mr. Teos being the president, we have really been working extremely hard in order to make our voices be heard in every single way possible. As the leading umbrella for so many other organizations under us, we have combined all the efforts of the rest of the organization to just try to merge back as one and reach out to everyone that can help in order to get some assistance.
In unity, there is strength. There's strength in unity. And I want to say, Bapta was kind of forced to come out, you know, because the people with disabilities, they're out. I mean, they're not hiding anymore.
Since
you
the
know?
pandemic, it has been a major
and
change.
So with that, I believe it caused Bapta to say, "Hey, we need to revive up. We need to." And I'm proud of this new team.
Yes,
this
of course,
new team
of course,
play.
Of course,
they're not playing. They're making noise, and we see your work all around. We see Mr. Kenrick's efforts. We see your efforts, and everybody else as a part of the team all around, trying to help our people to understand what inclusion really means. You know, we use the word loosely without even thinking of what it means and how we could make it a possibility. I want to get into terms, a little bit about terms before we talk about how we could help Bapta, how we could support Bapta. I feel like a lot of times small things like what we say kind of throw off the whole inclusive thing. You may not have a ramp, you may not have a rail and all of that, which is not too okay. But if you don't have at least the terms to address people with disabilities, I feel like you'll mess up. You'll mess up altogether. And it's something cultural. It's something that we're not used to because it's how we speak at home. But I want you to help our viewers a little bit with some of the way we speak when it comes to people with disabilities.
For me personally, I would say using the term cripple is one of like the
cripple, right?
Yeah, it just
I've heard it.
Like it just there's a lot of people that use the word without any regard, and it's been something that has been happening for so long with no sense of feeling to the person who you're speaking to about what you're saying. So I believe hence the reason the word has been used, but there's ways to go about describing somebody that has a disability.
So instead of saying cripple, what would I say?
Instead of using the disabled.
Yeah.
Correct. Disabled.
So that's time to stop with that cripple word.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it's first of all, that is so wrong to say. Because instead of looking at the person as a whole, you're looking at the person's disability. That's the first thing you call out.
I call it up.
You know, and it shouldn't be, you know. That person is Noel Young. You know, that's him. Think about his abilities before his disabilities.
Disabilities, correct.
You know? So instead of saying cripple, or handicap, we can say disabled.
Disabled, yep.
You know, another one I think we use a lot is the word dumb. If they can't hear, we would say dumb, that dumb girl or dumb boy. I mean, help us along the way. What term would we use?
For somebody who is unable to hear or to speak, I think nail it just by using the person's name. Like what you said earlier, instead of seeing somebody with disability, you see their ability. Ask the person their name. For me, I really don't know why people use strange names or violent names in terms of describing someone when we all have a name, was given a name.
Yeah. I think unconsciously, it's things that are done unconsciously, because I wouldn't want to intentionally hurt anybody, but without even realizing, I mean, some people do intentionally want to hurt, but without even realizing, at times we call people by these terms. We call people with disabilities by these terms, not realizing how deep it cuts. You know, instead of saying dumb, I could say I'm hearing impaired.
Hearing impaired, right.
Hearing impaired. Or instead of saying stroke victims or wheelchair bound, you could say he uses a wheelchair or something like that. So we have to think about how we speak, what we say. You know, words hurt.
I was just gonna say that.
Words hurt, and you may say sticks and stones don't break my bones, but let me tell you, words do hurt. And one of the last thing you want to do is to break down
somebody that has already been broken.
Yeah. You know, in our eyes, they're broken, but in God's eyes, they are perfect. They're perfect. You know, our idea of perfection is two limbs, two legs, and everything they function. But God's level of perfection is different from how we see it. You know, a little mini sermon there on the side. So let's get into some of the services and support. BABTA is a it's an NGO, non-governmental organization, which means they don't get funding. No big salaries they come in, and they don't have, you know, it's fundraisers.
Everything is based on fundraising.
Yes.
What we generate in terms of doing different events is what keeps the organization going. And allows us to reach our members, to reach other members from other organizations as well.
So you've mentioned a few of the projects that you guys are working on. I want to go over them again. You are working on reviving the feeding, the Kathleen Skin feeding program. You're also working on with
getting buildings up to par in terms of having access for disability, transportation, getting transportation, public transportation,
and then the
IDs for discount for members. We have the Eva Milton roundabout. She was the last, or she was our second president. She unfortunately passed away, but she was one of the driving force behind BABTA. BWS had asked us to team up with them in order for us to rename the roundabout at the corner of Mahogany and Boulevard, which would now be named the Eva Milton roundabout.
Wow.
We have a classroom name after her as well. We celebrate the anniversary of her birthday, which all will become annual stuff. Official. A big event coming up for us at the end of November is the Disability Week. And that gets me pumped up because that's when we come out in numbers for the 5 days period in terms of just pushing stuff that we have been working on. And we have different activities. We work with different organizations. We tend to get support a lot, mainly during this time as well. It's just incredible. I like to say it's my day. Like children have sports day, and then I have disability week. But it's enjoyable. It's just something unique and special to watch. Things that you don't normally see. You'll see a couple guys that are wheelchair bound doing a race. You would see kids that have Down syndrome doing something that is not normal to the eyes. So during this week is really, really special for us. We, as always, give thanks and praise to God, open the ceremony in a church, and then we honor special members, and from there the week just carry on with events and activities.
All these projects that you guys are working on, we want our viewers to know that they cost. You know, everything comes at a cost. And a lot of these projects require finances in order for it to get up off the ground. So I want for you to share with our viewers now at this time how they can support, how they can be a part of BABTA.
So we have our bank accounts at Heritage Bank and at Atlantic Bank and National Bank of Belize. The bank number for the Heritage Bank is account number 10214876. At National Bank of Belize, the account number is 902-111-20-00-0063. And all of it is under the BABTA name, the Belize Assembly for Persons with Diverse Ability. We got our office that is located on Mahogany at the Samuel Haynes building. That you can always stop in, and if you have clothes you want to donate, a wheelchair that probably
Yes.
somebody got their foot broke and was using, crutches, walking sticks. Any little item that you're not using that is still in decent shape and working that you wanna donate to us, you can come and donate to us at the office.
Nice, nice. That's so wonderful to hear. And as you share those banking information, at this time you'll see a flyer up on the screen that kind of help you along the way. BABTA, like I said, is an NGO, and they are in need of our help, you know, and this is our time, this is our moment for us to be a part. We talk inclusivity, this is the time for you to be inclusive with your finances.
Sure.
You know, you may not have a disabled person at home, but you can help those along the way as well. The monies you donate will go a long way. You know, we've come a long way, but we have further to go.
Correct.
We have further to go, and we want to be able to be here for our people with disabilities. Again, we want to say that a disability does not mean that you're not good enough. My dad, he's disabled. He has one arm, like I mentioned, but he has done the world. I think the only thing left for him to do is to fly a plane. You know, that one arm does not stop him. You know, it does not stop him. My uncle with one leg, he ride bike, he drive, he do every single thing. You know, it does not stop him. And so we don't want for you to look at people with disabilities as with scorn. You know, back in the day that was a thing. But I'm happy for this new age that we're in, Mr. Young. I feel like we're more embracing. You know, we are embracing those with disabilities. You know, at one point in time, parents used to hide and leave babies when they have disabilities, and now they're out. You know, we have a whole school.
As it should be.
Yep, we have a whole school. We have Stella Maris, and we also have them incorporated into regular school.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
Because they're going to Stella Maris, that means, okay, that's the place for them.
No.
You know, so we are happy for how far we've come, but like I tell you, we have further to go.
Right.
So we want for you to support BABTA. We want for you to reach out to contact. Is there a contact information that you can share? Donate towards this organization, banking information on the screen, and then Mr. Noel will share with us contact information as well, where you can call if you have questions. Maybe you have somebody who's disabled, or you're disabled and you don't know where to turn.
Yeah, correct.
So BABTA is here as well to answer your questions. You know, you may be looking for a job. You may need a wheelchair. I know Nativille Highlights do a little bit of that. But you may want to donate some stuff. So we want to share with you the contact information where you can speak to someone to get your questions answered.
So our office number is 631-0724. You can always give a call and speak to the secretary or president and share anything that is there to share. By the way, our president is an excellent counselor. So if you need help just by somebody speaking to you, he's excellent for that as well. BABTA is here. We're here. At this point, it's a big tip of the iceberg, I would say. It's no longer a one-man show. It's a whole team. It's a driving force. We're 1,800 strong and have many more to go that are not a part of us as yet. But as we continue to seek, we'll reach out and we'll get everybody. Because a disability is not what you see, it's what you feel.
Yeah, I'm happy you said that. As we are wrapping up this conversation for today, I want to ask you, have you ever thought in all your life that you'd be like the face of BABTA? Like the face? You're the face.
No, I'm not the face.
Accept that you're the face. A young person, you know, you usually get the older folks to talk, but a young person, you ever thought in your lifetime that you'd be doing this amazing work, doing a master's in, what is it again?
Prosthetic and orthotics.
Yeah.
In terms of school, I believe I've been set for this from I went back to doing IT. Like the path was set there. I didn't know it was going to be at this young age, but I mean, I always had a feeling that would be what I wanted to do. In terms of working with BABTA, no, I didn't. I never expected to be the president of the project committee, and in terms of media relations or public relations.
Look at you, man. God truly have a purpose for everybody, and you may be looking at your disability and say, there's not much I can do. But we have a testimony right here. We have Mr. Young, doing so much. He has a job, he has a life, and he's also using his disability for a bigger purpose, a bigger cause. And, discussions like these are what we always enjoy, because it's not all the time we get to hear, a lot of times it's just other people repeating somebody else's story. But we have Mr. Young here, who is here sharing his life story, and how you can be a part to helping others. I want to close off by offering you the opportunity to share some final words with our viewers. And as you share, I want for our viewers to really reconsider how you've been thinking, or to support BABTA. They're in need of your help, and the only way we can do it is, besides prayer, is with finances. So again, we want to encourage you to support this organization. Share with us some final words.
I would just like to say thanks to everybody who has helped BABTA to make it our organization now. And we all need help at some time. We all need help at some time, whether it be financial, physical, spiritual. We all need help at some time. This is the time, if you're in the position to give back to a worthy cause. And when I see it worthy, I'm not talking about just money-wise. If you have something that is there that you're able to give, you're free to give back, even if it's not to us. Give back.
Yeah.
Hand wash hand and two hand wash face.
Nice. Nice. Well, I want to extend thanks for you being here on set, as well as to the whole team for accepting to come on and to share and to talk about your organization. I also want to thank our viewers for staying with us to the end. And again, I just want to echo, help where you can help. You may have wheelchairs, you may have crutches, you may have prosthetics, and all these things. That's another discussion we need to have. I'm already lining you up for part 2. Help. So again, we thank you for staying with us to the end, and we say God bless.
As a non-profit organization, the Adventist Television Network solely relies on your financial support. By partnering with us through a monthly donation, you will help us to continue to fulfill the mission in taking the gospel into all the world. For more information, please call 613-9351 or email us at atnfin@cbm.belizeunion.org. Thank you for your prayers and support of the ATN ministry, and together we may hasten the soon coming of our Lord Jesus Christ.